Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Just sending out a quick message. All right. Hey, guys, what's happening? Let's rock and roll. Let's jump right into it this evening. Excited to be here on this Thursday. It's Thursday afternoon or evening, depending on where you live. So join us as you come in. Please give me a shout out. Let me know where you're signing in from, where you're hailing from, your city or country of origin. I'm excited to see where you guys are and how things are going and where you're tuning in from. 7 o'clock. Normally this is when people start tuning in. So come on into the house and let's jump into this. We're answering some questions tonight that should be quite interesting, actually. So let's join in. All right. We're waiting for people to come on. As folk are coming on, let me just give you some heads up and some housekeeping again. First of all, I hope you're telling people about our lives. These are happening now. We're going to be changing the format. I've been warning you, letting you know that we're going to be changing the format shortly with the lives. So I want you to jump in and enjoy them while we're doing this. We're not going to stop, but we're just going to shift things up a little bit. So please go also to your opening page when you open the app, and you'll see the dates for our upcoming tour. You'll see the dates when you open up the app, and you'll be able to go in and register for those dates at our website, marriageaintforpunks.com. Some of those are coming up, and we're getting things up and ready to go. Registration should start very, very shortly, so please join in. Again, if you're already online, please give me a thumbs up, spit at me, throw something at me. Let me know that you're out there. Okay? All right, 7:02. All right. Let's see here. So far. All right. Okay, still waiting to see who's on. Somebody let me know if you're here. I'm sure our notifications went out. We sent out the smoke signals for everybody. All right. Well, I'm going to jump in and get started. And for those of you all who are on, you can join in. Those who are not, okay. Hey, what's going on, Kevin? It's good to see you. All right, if there's anyone else, we're going to join in now and get rocking and rolling. But like I said, please go and look for the dates inside the app. You'll find the dates for our relationship tour. And in addition, our marriage and manhood tour. In addition to that, you please go to the Men Touring Manhood page inside the app, and you can also please join our Men Touring Manhood platform. It's a community for men where we're actually going to be encouraging one another and helping each other to just bring out the absolute best in us as men. Okay? All right. I have to call my tech guy and to see if our notifications came out. But I think that everybody should have been notified by now. Okay, well, we're going to jump right into it. The question is tonight, what does needy look like? I had someone to ask, am I being needy? My mate often calls me needy, and is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing? And so I wanted to talk about this tonight, about what needy looks like. Listen, people, I'm going to tell you something. Let everybody know that we're online. Tell people to, send out some shares. Let your friends know. Did you know that the number one way to market is word of mouth? That is the number one way to market. I know there's TV and there's radio, et cetera, et cetera. But the number one way to market is marketing word of mouth. Okay? So when we tell each other, that's how we get people to come out and to join our lives. Okay? All right, let's jump right in it. What does it mean when we say when we talk about being needy? Is needy a bad thing? Is needy a good thing? What does that mean? What does being needy mean? We often talk about this, and I often talk to women in particular, and I ask them the question, do you ever need a man? And they always say, it blows my mind. Women always say, I don't need a man, I want a man. I don't need a man, I want a man. Asking men the same question, it's almost like it's rehearsed. It's the complete opposite. Because men say, yeah, I need a woman. And I want one. So when we start talking about this thing, this idea of being needy, I think there's a narrative that's being written that there's a negative, first of all, there's a negative spin to needing people. There's a negative spin to needing people, as though it diminishes you or takes some part of you out. It hurts you. Michelle Risper. Hey, Michelle. First time. Oh, my God. Thank you so much for saying that, Michelle. She says, for the first time, I need my man and not just want him. Look, now we're going to talk about needing somebody and being needy. I think that there's such a misnomer out there when people start really jumping on folk about being needy. And the narrative we're spinning here is actually very detrimental. It's very detrimental. Needy is being dependent on somebody. Okay, let's talk about that. Now, if needy is being dependent on somebody, do you depend on your girlfriend? Do you depend on your spouse? Do you depend on your boyfriend? Do you? Well, yeah, I'm not going to lie. I depend on my wife. I absolutely depend on her. Am I being dependent on? Yes, I am. Yeah, there's some things that I depend on. And there's some things that she depends on. I mean, let's just be real with it. Let's not quibble, Yes, being needy is a thing. But is there a difference between being needy and needing someone? Because there's this whole negative thing. First of all, let me share this, and I hope you get this. Being needy is not a psychiatric or psychological diagnosis. It's not a psychological thing. When people, it's not like being bipolar, okay? Or it's not like being, having a schizophrenic or a manic depressive diagnosis or any of those delusions of grandeur is even a psychological diagnosis. But needy is not. It is not. Okay? Yes, I do depend on him, Michelle says. And MAFP user, Kevin, I don't know who that is. MAFP user says, yes, I do. She depends on me too. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. That's another man. Yes, I do. And she depends on me. So, and there's nothing, I don't think that men, why is that? Men don't have a problem. We just don't have a problem with saying we need our women. Don't have a problem. Just as quick as you ask us. You need your wife? Yeah, I need her. Yeah, But there's something in the psyche. When you flip that thing around and you ask a woman, does she need a man? It almost is as though, and I know there's some historical baggage there because women have been rightfully, I do understand the psychology behind it, that women have been oppressed, from a gender perspective for a long time. And so now to say that I need someone it almost adds salt to the wound. It's like, I don't want to say I need anyone. It's like a black man in America for me to say I need white people. I ain't got no problem with white people, but because of my history, do I want to say I need them? No, but do I need society? Yes. Do I need some of the things that society provides? Absolutely. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's important to understand here, and when we start talking about this needy thing, there's a difference. You see, labeling someone as needy is very subjective. It's incredibly subjective. I want y'all to get into this. Okay? Because it can depend on your personality, your culture, your background. All that can be wrapped up in this idea of being needy. It depends on your culture, your background, as much as it depends on his or hers. So what you may assess as needy to one person might be the standard for someone else. Have you ever seen a couple and they're always under each other? I mean, they're always under each other. They're touching and they're feeling and what have you. We have some friends of ours. That's juice, by the way. We have some friends of ours. They've been married for 40 years. 40 years, right? And it's funny because when they're just sitting down, all of a sudden you'll see her just grabbing his ear. Or he's just, come on now, 40 years of marriage, and y'all still just touchy-feely all the time? Yes. Now, for other people looking at that, you'll say, oh my God, I can't have nobody just touching me all the time or just being in my space, in my physical space. That's okay. You don't need to be with a person like that. But I don't want us to get into this habit of saying that needing somebody is a bad thing. Now, are there codependent personalities? Are there situations where a person feels a certain amount of insecurity, and as a result, those insecurities cause you to depend on someone, sort of overly depend on someone? Absolutely. Okay, I want to hear what your responses are. I want to hear what your feelings are. Have you ever felt that you needed someone more than they needed you? Has that ever happened to you? And you felt like, well, maybe something's wrong with me. Maybe I'm just needy. Something's wrong with me because I need this person more than they need me. Well, look, let me share this with you. If you're wondering if you are needy, there's something for you, some questions that I want you to answer. Okay, here's some answers here. Let me see. Yes, it does happen. Okay. It seems like many women feel like they don't want to be disappointed if the man is unable to lead effectively. So the best way to avoid that is to say we don't need them, which really is saying I can handle myself by myself. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because there's a fear of being disappointed. There's a fear of being let down. There's a fear that if I really give myself over to that level of dependency, then will this person stand up for me? Will this person be there for me? Or will I end up, feeling dejected? All right. And Lynn says here, especially if you are a giver. Yeah. And if that is you, if you grew up in a family where touching and feeling and being in each other's space and loving up on each other, if that is your standard, and then you get into a relationship and you simply repeat what you're accustomed to, and that person is feeling as though you're needy, do not let that person make you feel bad about what is natural for you. Don't let that person create a negative feeling in you about what is natural. Okay? And these are things you should figure out before you even get married. Especially if you're dating, you're in the beginning of a relationship, you need to figure this stuff out. If you're around someone, they never want to touch you. I need my space. Ooh, I need my space. Oh, no, okay, fine. Okay, you know that. This person is not going to be tactile. This person is not going to be emotionally in your space. That might be a problem for you. Now, Wendy says there's a responsibility on both sides to make you feel safe to be needed. Yes, absolutely. There's definitely a dual responsibility. So something I want you to ask yourself, though, if you're wondering if you're needy, what about people who are annoyingly? Okay, there you go. If you're wondering if you're needy, because Wendy says, what about people who are annoyingly needy or they would say or whiny? Now, look, again, needy is subjective. Needy is subjective. Okay, so I don't know what annoyingly needy is, because that might be annoying to you. It may not be annoying to someone else. Kevin says you might have times when you're more needy than other times. Embrace absolutely, and that's a beauty in relationships, is that there are times that I'm going to really need you to coddle me. There are times that I'm really going to need you to hold me. I'm really going to need you to just to be there and dote on me. And then for other people, it's like there are going to be times when you're really going to need me. Okay, this is how marriage is. This whole idea of marriage being 50-50, and there's always been this equal influx of emotion, it never works that way. There's always this 80-20, 75-25, 60-40. There's always this thing where I'm going to need you now, you're going to need me. That's how marriage is. That's how relationships are. I'm going to get to these questions, but let me get to this. Michelle says here, I get annoyed sometimes when he's too needy. Yeah, and again, sometimes if a person is too needy, then you want to ask yourself, what's going on in their life where they're needing more of me than they've needed before? And that's the kind of question that you want to ask your spouse, your significant other. Hi, Ann. What's going on in your life where right now it seems like you need me more in your life than before? Okay, what's happening? We're talking about being needy. Now, here's a question for you to ask. Is this person seeing or repeating the same behavioral patterns in every relationship? Have you know here's how to know if you're going overboard with neediness. Are you repeating the same behavior in every relationship? Does every relationship feel like you're crowding? Okay, does every relationship feel like, I'm not just talking about romantic. Your parents, hi Christine, your parents, everybody, your siblings, do they all feel like that you are just this person who's got to clean, got to be, okay, then that might be, there may be some counseling needed. Okay, but if you're in your relationship, your romantic relationship, and you're cuddled, you're always on this person, but in other relationships you're not that way, that's when you have to really consider that thing. You have to consider the fact that if I'm always on snuggling up to my wife, and I want her, or she's snuggling up to me, but then I notice in other relationships she's not that way, well then that means that what she wasn't getting there, she's trying to get from me. And I need to understand that and embrace that and not call that needy, because that's a valuable and important time. Because this person is saying, what I didn't get from other people, I'm depending on you to give. I feel free to open up and let you in. And I want to need you, and I want to be needed by you. Okay? Michelle says, hey, Candace, thanks for letting me know about this. Okay. Needing each other is natural. And I want to thank you, Candace, for letting Michelle know. Needing each other is natural, even if one needs the other more. But needy is annoying. And again, I'm going to say this again for those in the back, Wendy, who didn't hear the first time. It's subjective. There is no standard that says if you're doing this, you are needy. There's no standard, and it's not annoying. It may be annoying for you. For instance, a man who's always whining or whatever, that's not needy. That's a lack of self-confidence. But when we talk about needy, we're talking about somebody who wants to be under you all the time, somebody who's always craving for affection. Now, we've talked about a couple things. Hey, Candace, we talked about a couple things. And Shayla says, okay, that's very irking. Again, y'all missing it. I'm saying it's very irking to you. It's annoying to you. Okay? But that one person's trash is another person's treasure. I always talk about this gentleman I know who was browbeaten, just treated like dirt in one relationship, and then he left that wife, divorced him, and he got into another relationship, and he was a king, taking care of his family. And it wasn't so much that, she felt that he was weak. It was that she didn't know how to build him up. She didn't create an environment where he could be the man that he wanted to be. I know you women might say, well, it ain't my job. Well, doggone it, it is your job. Just like it's his job. It's both of your jobs to create an environment where each other can feel like maybe they don't need to be so needy because they're getting what they want out from the relationship. Okay? Okay. Needy equals codependency. Okay, okay. All right, codependency. We're going to talk about that also, okay? And something else you have to ask. If you're needy, if you're asking yourself if you're needy, has there been a recent loss or significant change in your life that's making you feel insecure? Is there something going on in your life that makes you feel like, I just need more of you right now? People have certain times when they need more than other times. Okay? Hey, Allie. People have certain times. Now, when we talk about codependency and things of that nature, sometimes there may be psychological imbalances. Sometimes there may be chemical issues or what have you. So we're not going to get too deep into if there's any imbalance, any psychosocial issues that a person might be having. But what I am saying is that when we just talk about being too needy or needing someone or just snuggling up to someone so much, they're just some minor things that we consider annoying. Okay. Again, it's all subjective. It may be annoying to you, but so another woman might love the fact that this man wants to be all over her. Okay, wait. If you're married to someone and they were not always needy, then it's incumbent upon both people to find out what's the challenge. Absolutely. If a person has not been needy, and again, as we said earlier, if they're not needy in other relationships, but they are needy in your relationship, it's because there's something in your relationship that's lacking. Okay? If they're needy in every relationship, then it's their issue. But if you're only finding that they want more attention from you, that ain't needy. Okay, my sister passing has made me more distant. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Michelle, for sharing that. I appreciate you being open about that. So my sister's passing has made me more distant instead of being needy. Yeah. And there's so many, thank you for that. There's so many reasons that could happen, Michelle. My sister passed, she died in 2000, actually, 1999, 2000. And look, it can either make you feel angry that I don't want to get close to anybody else like that because I don't want to feel that pain anymore. Or it can make you miss her so much that you want somebody else in your life. So there are two different responses that you can get from that, from someone who's close to you in passing. Okay. When he says, if you're not married and you think they're needy, you might want to move on. Right. Oh, and that's possible. That's possible. But then again, as I like to say, I want you to check yourself first. Okay. Sometimes when you think a person is needy, is it possible that you're just cold? Is it possible that you do not open up yourself to give and to receive as you should? Not saying that's the truth or not, but I'm saying that before you start characterizing someone as needy, it's so important for us to look at ourselves. And it may have to do with your attachment style also. We've been talking about, there's been a lot of information out there about attachment styles, and we'll probably go through these again. But some of the attachment styles are, secure attachment, and I've done my own personal inventories, or anxious attachment, or disorganized attachment, or avoidant attachment. These are some attachment styles. And it's incumbent upon each of us to know, what based on our history, based on how we grew up, how do we attach to people? And what is our way of attaching or detaching from people? And that's the whole idea behind the attachment styles. Do you have a secure attachment style? Do you feel comfortable being close to people? Do you feel comfortable with closeness and intimacy? Are you okay to trust? Is reliability an issue for you? Do you respond in that way? And anxious? Are you much more jittery? Do you worry about abandonment, and you seek ways to get out of a situation? Avoid it. You seek ways to avoid a situation, or ways to get out of something if it gets too close to you. Or disorganized, which means you're all over the place. You cannot find yourself in any kind of secure attachment, and you might just be moving all over the place. There are numerous attachment style inventories that you can take online for free. And I challenge you to find out what your own personal attachment style is, and just do some self evaluation and find out, am I a little distant, or am I too needy? Am I disorganized? Am I, anxious? What is my attachment style? Okay, my wife, bless her heart, Jesus. Yeah, I want everybody right now to just pray for her. Okay, this is all over the place, perimenopausal. Okay, fine. But that's what I want you guys to understand. I know. Yes, I love her too. You need to put a camera in our house. Okay. So the question here is needy a thing? Yes, it is a thing. But can we just call a person needy? We have to understand that needy is subjective. And the first thing that you would have to do is evaluate yourself. Okay. I would like to know how folk are defining needy. I think that what people we talked about needy being codependent. We talked about needy being depending too much on another person. And what we determined here, just to do a little recap, what we determined here is that when people look at someone and say they're needy, it may be that this person is going through something in their life. As was said, I lost my sister, so that's making me either be a little more distant, or it's making me want to be closer to other people. There are a number of reasons, a number of ways that people might be experiencing just a need for more affection, a need for more closeness. But really evaluate yourself and find out whether or not you're needy in one relationship, or if you're needy in every relationship. And if you're finding that you're craving affection, craving closeness in every relationship, then that requires some psychological counseling. It requires you to sit down with a clinician or sit down with a counselor and find out what have I been lacking in my life. If it's in one relationship, but all my other relationships, I ain't got to be around y'all. I'm good. But in this relationship, then there may be that's a clue, a red flag that there's some issues in that particular relationship that need to be addressed. Okay? Does that make sense? I hope it does. Okay, guys, that's it for the day. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. You being out here again. Okay, here's another question. I said we're done. Look at that. Y'all jumping in again. What if a person was very needy with their spouse who lacks emotional intelligence, and now they have become distant? Yeah, look, we're talking some counseling situations, Siobhan. Absolutely. If you were very needy with their spouse and that person lacks emotional intelligence, and again, I always warn people about using these terminologies. Let's find out, what does that mean, you lack emotional intelligence? Okay. What does that mean? Are you saying this person lacks emotional maturity? Are you saying this person does not know how to regulate their emotions, regulate their affections? There are so many things here to consider. And so, yes, and I think on Tuesday night, why don't we do this? Invite people out. On Tuesday night, we're going to continue this, okay? So you have other questions, please bring them. We're going to continue. We can talk about avoidant attachment styles and those other attachment styles when we meet on Tuesday, okay? All right, great. Thank you. Siobhan, I'm going to expect you back. Bring back somebody. Share the app with your friends, and we will see you guys on Tuesday. Hey, and go on the app, look on the opening page, and find out look at all the dates for our tour that we're going to be starting soon, okay? So God bless you guys, and we'll talk to you next week.